We are outside the beautiful Mohegan Sun on a beautiful day. I am joined by Gwerder, who will be fighting this Friday at Bellator 264. Ty, how are we doing today?
Good. Weigh-in's done. Feeling great. I'm ready to go.
You're still hungry? You still want to eat a lot of food, or
You know what's surprising this time? Haven't ate as much as I usually do.
you usually do?
I've had I had a lobster sandwich, those lobster sandwiches downstairs.
After you weighed in, though?
After weigh-ins.
Of course.
And I had a milkshake. That's about it.
You can go wrong with a milkshake,
Yeah.
right? You can't go wrong with a milkshake. Listen, you're coming into this fight. You've been with Bellator a long time. You've been known as an MMA fighter. I feel like people haven't done you the justice of looking at the opposite side, like just the human type. So let's break it down. Where are you from?
Originally from Oahu, Hawaii. Born and raised. Lived there till I was 17, and then I moved to Las Vegas. Been there since.
Been there since in Las Vegas. So, when you got into, you're growing up, was MMA always in your life?
I'd say I started MMA. I think I started around when I was 14, and it was just to kind of stay in shape for football. I was naturally a football player. That's where I started. Football player still, like, in my heart.
Every MMA person has a sport from the previous life that they always, can always connect back to. Like, Greg Hardy has football. For me, like, even though I'm not a fighter, even though I'm in MMA, like, I was a sports guy, and that's what got me into MMA. The fact that this was a new sport. So I agree. Like, let me ask you. So since you did play football, what did you play position-wise?
I played safety and linebacker.
So you're a hard hitter.
Yeah, that's all I like doing.
So you liked? Did you have a body count per se?
I was getting at least 3 a game.
Ooh, damn you! I can't imagine. Like for me, my mom never let me play football because she saw someone get pretzeled. Like he got somersault in the air. And when I asked her, she showed me the video and she said, "This is what you're not gonna watch." So, well, your parents, they just let you play everything?
Yeah, my mom never really cared. I was raised by my mom, but she was worried. She wasn't so big on me playing sports. Come from like my mom, Filipino, old school Filipino family.
Traditional family, right?
Yeah, and it was like, oh, just focus on school. And I was like, I go to school so I can play football. What are you talking about? Like, I was like, you got it all wrong.
Yeah, like football will eventually help me get a scholarship one day. You never know.
Yeah,
that's the way. So my mentality in going to school was, if I worked on the sport hard enough, like it would pay for college eventually.
Oh, yeah.
But then you're a kid. You don't realize there's so many other things to it, right?
Yeah.
So, you're playing football, right? When did you have to make that decision between football and MMA?
It was kind of easy. When I got here to Vegas, when I got to Vegas, originally was to go play ball at University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I did spring ball there, and messed around with a couple of the guys that were on the team, and I started getting injured, and I wasn't really feeling the coaching at the time. The coaching was, very there's a lot of favoritism.
Yeah, especially when you're playing D1 sports.
Yeah.
You people say that everything is right and right, but I'll tell you from my own personal experience, D1 sports is as twisted as it can get, right? And it's never justifiable to you especially when you're like not the favorite, like the poster boy coming in. You're one of those hard workers that just keep putting the numbers and putting the work in, but they just don't reward you.
Yeah.
Right. So I can see like why now. I understand like your transition in MMA. Like it's hard.
Yeah.
So you made the decision, right? Would you say that MMA has changed your life completely?
Yeah, 100%. Maybe more than 100%, I'd say. I'd say partially the man I am today is because of MMA. I hold myself to a higher accountability because of it. My respect for people is different. I look at things so much differently in life. I appreciate the things that I can do now because of the sport. And I'm just grateful for the journey that MMA has provided me. It's changed my aspect on life as well.
And would it be ironic to say that MMA helped you find love?
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
Yeah, it's cool. It's different,
And it's like one of those stories you love to tell your kids, like, hey, this is how we met, right?
Yeah, I love to tell my kids one day. It's like, hey, like we're both athletes. You're athletic kids.
Listen, when we say we're gonna whoop your butt, we will whoop your butt.
Yeah. They're like, dang, man, mom ain't busting out the belt. She's gonna throw some hands.
Bro, let's talk about moms. So, like, you come from a super traditional family. I come from a super traditional family. Explain to me how you convinced your mom that it was okay for you to do MMA.
Dude, I didn't even convince her, to be quite honest.
You went behind her back?
I just started training. Yeah, I started training with my cousins and whatnot, and my brother, and she was like, well, I came home with my first black eye, and back home we never really, like at our gym, mixed martial arts development, we didn't spar with 7-ounce puffies or 16-ounce gloves. It was the 4-ounce fight gloves. We sparred with those, and came home with my first black eye, and she was like, "Why do you want to do this?" Like, she's like, you're handsome. Go do something else.
You're like, you're beautiful, man.
Yeah, and then she slowly kind of came okay with it, just okay with it, and it wasn't until I was 4, 5, maybe 6 amateur fights in before she was like, okay, I'll come watch. And
Yeah, your
she
mom
still,
said-
yeah, and that first fight, it doesn't help that was one of my bloodiest fights.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
my face got messed up, broke my hand in that fight.
Damn, so you really put on a showcase of why to your mom of why you shouldn't be there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she was crying, like, after the fight. I'm over here in the back, like, back in Hawaii.
Tell your mom
too.
like it's okay.
Yeah, it was fine. Like, we were in the back after the fight, and the doctor's sewing me up on a chair, and I'm just leaning my head back. And she's like getting in his way, like, "You okay, son?" Like, I'm like, "Mom, chill. It's just like 8 stitches. I'm tripping." You know? And she's like drunk, and she's all hammered and whatnot.
She's like, I need to be hammered to see my
she
son
was
get beat up.
hammered. And I ended up driving us home after the fight.
With the
She was
broken
hammered
hand.
With the broken hand.
That's crazy.
It was funny though. It was,
Wow, you were the designated driver for your mom after you got beaten up and you had to take care. Wow, that's a crazy story. Your mom comes to see your first fight. She gets hammered. She comes to check up on you, and she's like all over the place. And then you have to, instead of you being taken care of, you're taking care of your mom.
yeah.
Man, let me ask you this. You know, not a lot of fighters open up about their emotional relationship with their parents, with their loved ones. How close would you say you are with your mom?
She's my best friend, man. She's been there for everything, you know. She's definitely made all the sacrifices I could think of to to basically give me the best life I could have. You know, I wasn't spoiled or anything, but when she was able to spoil me, she would, you know, she'd buy me shoes and everything. Like, I started working when I was 13 years old. You know, I worked on the weekends doing landscaping with my uncle guys just to help out. You know, I never wanted any of her money, but she did spoil me. She did, and I can talk to her about anything. I don't know. It's like one of those. It's like those relationships with son and mom that you see on movies. Where
all the
like,
time.
They're like best friends, you know. And it's like that for us.
Even like, you know, sometimes even though you don't want to open up to your mom, you just need that right moment, and then you'll hit her up and be like, "Mom, I want to talk to you." That type of stuff, right? Yeah, I understand. Like, you know, it's, you know, we were talking about it yesterday. Like, you know, non-traditional parents, they don't have a great connection with their kids. For us, you know, when we look at our parents, I look at them as, if I get married, I have kids, they're automatic babysitters. If I need anything from my kid, they're there for me. They're always going to be there for us, right? And that's the benefit of having our parents with us. And that's why, like, when I see, like, parents in the nursing homes and parents who are just alone, right? Because my dad, he's a sick man, so when he had surgery one day and was in a nursing home, I would go to visit him. And then, you know, when my parents are talking, I would take my parents' iPad, go to the break room, and then there would be these 2, 3 elderly people. And the thing that was crazy was I ended up being best friends with those 2, 3 elderly people, right? And after my dad got discharged, she gave me a Lou Gehrig signed baseball card, one of the people. And I had, like, it wasn't like I was their son or anything. All I did was spend time with them. All I did was spend time. And this person gave me something valued at a lot of money. Let's just say a lot of money. And the fact was, I realized was, you know, all everybody wants is some time with you. And that's all, like, you know, if you give them the time, they'll appreciate it, right? And it's the same concept applies to everywhere. Like, you, me, the growing MMA stars are there. You give them the time, and they will appreciate you.
I was looking for my water.
Yeah, like,
Licking my
there's a
chops.
little break right there. But listen,
Sorry.
being a fighter, how hard do you feel it is to, like, do you want to feel like being a regular human being? Like, do you hate being classified as a fighter most of the time?
Nah, I don't really care. It's one of, like, if that's how people see me, then it's cool. You know, I'm super laid back. I don't really look into things like that. And it's normal, you know, like people will see other athletes or celebrities like, oh, the singer or the football player or the whatever it is. And like if that's how you see me, then it's cool, you know. And then when you actually meet me, if you ever get the opportunity to like let's go grab a beer, like let's
do
go,
it.
you know, go shoot the cruise, whatever it is, and it's cool with me. I don't mind it. You know?
So, some fighters, they tend to, you see, like, I've seen videos of Kobe Covington, right? He's like super mean and everything, and then you see the private videos, he's like super chill, super nice. So, like, that's the one thing I always wanted to ask fighters, like, do you have, like, it's like weird saying you have split personalities, right? But, like, is that something you try to avoid, having split personalities?
I don't even get that, to be quite honest. Like, for why? Like, what's the point? Yeah, it's like be you on and off the camera. You know, and I don't want to be like, oh, excuse my language, but like, oh, he's an asshole when you got people around. But when he's just with us, he's super chill. Like, I don't want to be that guy that's like, he might be faking it, he might be not. Then you kind of look at somebody like, oh, you're a pretender.
Yeah.
And I'm not into that.
You a wannabe.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I agree. So, we talked all about this, but, like we said, there's another side to you. What do you do on, like, hobby-wise? Like, there's got to be more to it than fighting.
Yeah, it's hard in Vegas because it's either too cold to do anything or too hot to do anything. I grew up surfing, red dirt bikes, and fishing.
Outdoorsy.
All the things I cannot really do in Vegas.
Yep. Vegas is more of an indoor situation.
Yeah, and I'm a water guy too, so like spear fishing is probably one of my favorite things to do. You know.
What's the biggest fish you speared?
Wasn't anything too crazy. I shot a pretty good sized kala. Kala is basically those unicorn fish. So they just
You see, I've seen it on TikTok.
I've seen it on TikTok. Doodle brown looking.
Yeah. It don't even look like a fish.
Yeah, they're ugly looking fish. But shot a nice, good sized one. Fatty. He was pretty fat, nice and stuffed. You know, great fish to eat over the barbecue. Just rip the skin open. Have at it. You know, I love that fish. You know. But yeah, I love spearfish. It's my favorite thing.
So, like, we said, like, Hawaii, what's the situation going on right now there? I know, like, listen, aren't you feeling homesick staying in Vegas so long so far away from the water?
I do definitely feel homesick in a sense of where I miss the ocean more than anything. My family as well. I think I miss the ocean a little more than my family. But
family, sometimes you miss them and then you realize, hey, they can be a little annoying.
Yeah.
So,
I don't mind it though, because when I go home, I don't really tell anybody I'm home. I just kind of shut my phone off, go home and spend time with the family, enjoy what moment I'm in. You know, enjoy Hawaii. I appreciate Hawaii more now than I ever did when I was living back there. But my main thing is just like, if I can keep telling myself that I'm here for a higher purpose, it's fine. Hawaii's slowly been going on a downhill. I feel like with people, it almost seems like people's mindsets is changing. Hawaii, it's not as welcoming as it used to be. Everyone's not as nice, especially with what's going on with the tourists and like.
Tourists is a big part.
Yeah, the influx. Like I'm hearing stories about like. Just random tourists getting beat up on like in Waikiki because like why are you here? Damn tourists coming! Like you guys are invading our land. Too many people here.
Oh, so it's almost like if they're regressing back to their old behavior when they were like a solitary island, right?
Yeah, it's just they're really pissed off with how like the government has been treating the land. And it's more so too. I get it. Like a lot of places I used to go to jump off like rocks, go. Rock, like cliff jumping and all that stuff, and a lot of those places are shut down because tourists would come in, act like they know what they're doing, and maybe die, break a neck, something like that. They shut down the whole thing for us, for everybody. But Hawaii is gonna be Hawaii.
Listen. I think Hawaii did a good job of when the market was available. They portrayed themselves as a great place to come to, right? Listen. I've been there. I love the black sand. It's great for the skin. I love sunbathing in it. It's great. But one of the things that I think I love about going is it brings me to a sense of home because I see a lot of tradition there. I see a lot of culture, right? It's something that America doesn't get enough of, right? Culture is. We come from like tradition and culture goes side to side, right? So for me, like hearing Hawaii is struggling and it's sad. Like I wish the world could change, but what can us two do? Like we're just, I'm a journalist, you're a fighter. You know, it's not like we own the Hawaii government. We can't change anything, but we pray and do whatever we can. Speaking of praying, would it be fair to say you're a God-fearing man?
I used to be. Not as well, not as much as I am. I was. Come from a Catholic family as well. Went to Catholic private school.
Same here.
Well, not my whole childhood, but spent 2 years of high school Catholic school. Like second, third, and fourth grade Catholic school. But you know, over the years, like especially being in fighting, it's like I've kind of come to the realization that I make my own destiny. You know, I make everything I get or everything that comes to me, it's because of you. So, you know, everyone prays and everyone asks for this and that from whatever their higher purpose is, or whoever that other person is, or whatever God they preach. It's like I don't ask for it. Like I can't say like, oh, like here dear God, like can I have this tomorrow? Like it's like saying God, the reason why I'm poor is because God
didn't give it to me.
And I'm like, no, you're poor because
you're not
probably
doing it.
but you got put in that spot. Like you did it to yourself or whoever your family before you, and it's nothing bad on them. It's just it is the way it is.
Yeah, and listen, we do control our own destiny. I agree. I feel like if I spoke to the gentlemen that are with us here today, like we do our own work, we work hard, and we get rewarded, right?
Exactly.
And I feel like, you know, us as media journalists, like, you know, we worked like, you know, it's not like we were here on the spot. We had to do the virtual stuff, right? And then you know, when Bellator saw that we were doing great content, they credited us with like, hey, you guys can come over for the shows, right? So I feel the same thing applies. I agree. But listen, thank you so much for joining us. Beautiful weather, beautiful chat. Shout out to my two guys from MMA Island for helping me out with the interview. Any shout out to any messages, any social media plugs?
Shout out to everyone that's been here to support me from the beginning. I appreciate it all. None of it goes unnoticed. My management, my coaches, my team, family, friends, all of you guys. It's I wouldn't be here without you guys, and the sponsors that are taking care of me as well. Straight to the core, Las Vegas. They've been giving me free food for a hot minute now, and I'm not a cheap person to feed, so thank you guys, all of you.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. Please stay tuned on Friday. This Bellator will be having its 264th pay-per-view. Gwerder will be there in the prelims. Please check him out. He is exciting as anyone can be. Guys, he serves, he fights. What else do you want from him? Please check him out. And guys, stay tuned for more content.